I'm with Mark O'Neill, and Mark is the managing director of KSN Project Management based in Dublin, but he's also a founder and managing director of KSN Horizon, and they provide decarbonisation strategies and products for the construction and real estate sector. So over to you, Mark. What is it you do, and for how long have you been doing it?
Hey, Kevin. I've been, I suppose, 25 years in the industry. I suppose probably 12 of those years is as a director of KSM Project Management. Five of those have been as managing director of KSN Project Management. KSN Project Management kind of focus on providing dedicated project management support for the development industry in the public or private. And if clients are looking for assistance or guidance or expertise in around development or trying to, I suppose, complete developments or start developments or oversight or any sort of expertise in that field, we provide support in that area. Also, as you referred to there on the KSN Horizon, KSN Horizon provides kind of decarbonisation strategies and oversees the delivery of those strategies for the real estate sector primarily. And we work with financiers, we work with developers and so forth to help them look at the 2030, 2050 goals and targets that have been set out by governments and help them try to reach their targets. So obviously taxation and so forth won't become a massive issue for them in time to come, and they can realise the value of their assets in due course. So that's kind of an overview, Kevin.
Fantastic, fantastic, Mark. Yeah, very, very relevant. It's all of that. And you've been growing over this period. And, what would you attribute your growth to?
I kind of feel we kind of put our success down to delivering for our clients. Repeat business is something that really works for us. We get a lot of repeat business from our existing clients, and we try and build on that through quality of service and so forth. But also, we find that the culture of the business has been a major growth area for us. We've been able to attract high quality talent into the business, which has helped us grow. And if you have good quality talent, and you're able to you nurture that with a good culture, you're able to deliver and achieve great things.
Yeah, it's one of the things I'm working on, the culture, getting people to realize it's not just something kind of a soft skill.
No.
It's absolutely essential, as you say, to sustain the growth, and as you say, to attract and retain high quality talent. I think is a big thing, big issue I know with a lot of the clients I'm dealing with these days. So fantastic. And if you had to start from square one in business, what would you do differently, if anything?
Yeah, I've been very lucky, I suppose. When I came into KSM Project Management, there was a very good culture. It was very, very strong, and it was a family-orientated sort of culture and business, kind of founded with Niall Newman, John Shane, and Dave Kerrigan, and obviously Joe Melvin was the original founding director of KSM Project Management. That those four guys really had the fundamentals of a family culture business. So from the business perspective, an awful lot of the good foundations were set up at the start, and I was very lucky to come into that, and it fitted in very well for me, and I felt at home, and I felt really like I found my calling, I found my place. So to do something differently is hard to say, because I think there was so much good stuff. I suppose education and prioritizing education and continuously educating yourself. I firmly believe that no one has the answers all the time, and continuous education. I went back and I done a master's in 2011, which really helped get me a different perspective on looking at different angles of strategic management and planning, and looking at, and one of the biggest modules in that was multicultural teams and been working with teams, and it gave me great perspective, and I really learned from that maybe I could have earlier on in my career maybe done a master's or maybe built along. But the other side of that I found also is that sometimes when you find people that have come out of third level or education and they've done a master's straight after postgrad, sometimes they don't have the life experience that really a master's or further education can bring, and the kind of different angles of perspectives. So I think education is key, really, and it's be one area I'd probably look at and say, right, maybe 4 or 5 or 6 years earlier I could have maybe looked at my own personal development in that front. From the business perspective, I suppose trying to develop talent and nurturing that talent even further, key focus on that. So not to think that it just happens organically. I think it's something that we really have focused on here in the last maybe 15 years. And we've seen the benefits of that as people have grown up through the business, and not to be coming in at a high level. We really do believe in spending a lot of time and effort and focus and training and to grow talent from a young stage, and we're starting to see the benefits of that now.
Fantastic, yeah. And you probably covered some of this already, but what have your biggest learnings been as an employer since you've begun in business? I mean, I think you covered a bit there with the culture, but even about any expansion on that.
Yeah, I think listening to everybody. Want to really listen to everybody, like the person. And my father said this to me, and he was a business owner as well, and he said to me, it's only when you actually have your own business will you ever realize what it means to the staff and to their families at the end of every month and so forth when they get paid and whatever it is. But really listen to the person at the lowest level in your organization right the way to the top. You get a really rounded view and different perspectives. So that'd be a huge learning I would have, because everybody has a different goal, different ambitions, different drive, different focus. So instead of looking from one lens from the top down, look from the bottom up, look from the side at all the different levels. So you get a completely rounded view of where the business is. And something we've really done a lot on in the last couple of years, as I touched on earlier, is the culture. But to try and harness that culture, try and survey that culture. How is it doing? Where we can't be as great as we think we are. We have to have areas that we need to improve. Try to find those and work on those, and continuously improve in those areas. Which is just it's providing people with comfort and confidence that they're being listened to as well. And that piece at the small, say this, an assistant project manager, the fact that I sit down and have a cup of tea with them, and once every couple of weeks they find out, oh geez, this is great, I'm being listened to. Somebody listening, to value my thoughts, my opinions.
Fantastic. Yeah, yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I mean, Tony Robbins talks about canny, constant and never-ending improvement, and I suppose the Japanese talk about Kaizen, sort of similar sort of idea.
Yeah.
Keep at it, constantly improving, which is fantastic. So how do you balance your personal life with the demands of running a business?
It can be very difficult, but I find I'm blessed to have two great boys. They're 9 and 14, and my wife works full time as well. But we have a great relationship where we're able to work closely together. She's a great support. Just even coming home and talking to her about the day and being able to de-stress, and she'd always have a different perspective, and I'd do the same for her. And I'm very lucky in that space. But I do find as well is that you have to have a focus outside of the office. I coach 2 rugby teams, under 10s and under 14s, and I'm also involved with as a kind of a selector with a GA intermediate team in Wicklow. So they keep that my evenings and weekends are taken up a lot in that space. But I find that de-stresses you. You come out, you might be stressed going to the pitch or going to a training session or whatever it might be, but once you're in it in 10 or 15 minutes, you've forgotten about what was the trials and tribulations of the day. Mm-hmm. And then you can come back to focus on it then later on in the evening or early next morning. But that break, I think, is very important for me personally.
Fantastic. Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I mean, just to kind of refocus, as you say, be fantastic. Yeah. And again, kids teams. I mean, I'm being a bit like plastic. I'm being recycled. I've got a live-in grandson who's 15, and he's mad on rugby, Gaelic, soccer, you name it. So I'm back and forth in the car all over the place, but also helping out a bit as well wherever I can. So it gets me in contact again. Somebody said, the next 2 generations down with a totally different view of it to me. So that's so I find that very refreshing.
Yeah.
But yeah, fantastic. So What are well, you've touched on this a good bit, but maybe just what are the qualities you look for in employees, and how do you foster a positive and productive work environment? I think you've covered a good bit of it, but anything to add to that?
When we are interviewing or when we're recruiting, I suppose the first thing we would look for is attitude.
Yeah.
Obviously, like the core competencies are, you'd have to. But I find if somebody has the right attitude and the right application, um, very quickly they'll fit in. There mightn't be nobody's the finished product. Nobody. I don't care. I've never met a finished product. But if you can find somebody who has the right attitude, right work ethic, right, and are willing to commit and to learn, to listen, those are the qualities I would find that say they're somebody that could really work well here. They buy into the culture, buy into the ethos that we try and mold here and work and to develop. And then we obviously the trust and the cooperation, the teamwork, and it depends on the levels too, good managers and so forth. But I find that the key thing will be the basics, right attitude, right commitment, right listening skills. They'd be the kind of the key people, the qualities that we would look for. And obviously then loyalty be a big one as well. We're very lucky to have incredibly loyal staff here, who've been with us since probably 15 years.
Wow.
15, 17 years. We have some staff who are going back to 2000 and probably 2008, 2009, 2010, I think it was our early staff. Is my first employee, but the first person I hired when I came after the kind of crash, I suppose, is still with us. And I kind of see that person's kind of a son now in many ways. We've gone through, he's came in as a boy and into a man, now he's a father himself and so forth, So it's that sort of relationship, so kind of that sort of family sort of bond and build that we really find it's very positive and it's very rewarding as well. You see that you can bring that person through and you can work with them and you're creating lifelong friends.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, that's absolutely brilliant. And I suppose just to round off then, Mark, what are some common misconceptions about running a business and how do you address them?
Craigie. Um, I suppose also people look up and see, oh, there's the MD's, he's gone out of the office at 1 o'clock. He must be gone playing golf, or he has it easy, or he's delegating, or
Mm,
whatever. I suppose what they don't realize is 24/7, 7 days a week, every day of the year, it's in your head. It's
right.
in your it really is, and you're constantly thinking how we can improve, where the gaps are, how can we get better. You're worrying about cash flow, you're worrying about finance, worrying about, is this project going to break, is it not going to break. All of those day-to-day trials and tribulations, they're in the MD's head, they're in the manager's head. They mightn't be they might be saying it every single day to everybody, but they're there. So I think it's the misconception would be that that you have it easy, that you just delegate all the time. But it's you delegate to grow, to nurture, to bring people along on the journey. So I think that'd be one of the biggest ones that I would see. But I think when people get to a certain level and they get a certain level of responsibility, I think their eyes kind of open then. But it's the
Mm.
guys at a lower level who are kind of going, sure, that's easy. Look at your man.
Yes, yeah. Everybody else's job is easy, isn't it?
I
Yeah,
do take off my shoe every now and again. I do say, there you go, you can walk in it for a day, see how it fits. And
yeah.
they're like,
Yeah, yeah,
crikey.
yeah. I like Billy Connolly on that. If you walk a mile in another man's shoes, you've got his shoes and he's a mile away. But anyway, listen, it's been great talking to you today, Mark. Some great learnings there for our viewers, and really appreciate you taking the time to take it out of your busy day and out of your schedule to talk to us and for the benefit of our viewers. Again, thanks very much.
No problem, Kevin. Thank you.